All right, everybody. Good evening. We are back. It is Dr. Rashida with Be Free Tax and Business Services, and my good friend Rose, the credit goddess, Lewis, Rosa Lure, the
Ro-
credit goddess Lewis.
Rosa Lord
Um, and
Lewis.
from the funding bar, from Credit 360, from the multi mogul of all things business and credit and funding. And so we are back tonight to chop it up with you guys once again. We promised last night that we would come back and give you some more conversation in the financial world as it applies to businesses and how you need to be thinking about funding and loans and money to run your business. So I was thinking, Rose, literally, I was talking to someone and they were talking about, we're in the midst of a political climate that is less than 2 weeks old, that's made a lot of significant changes to the way that we think and the way that we do money. We understand that right now it's a little organized chaos, really, to create smoke screens and distract people. But people were talking about businesses pulling out of or boycotting businesses. And I was thinking, why is it that we don't build those type of businesses? Why does Target and Walmart have to be the only department store conglomerates out there? Why aren't we doing it too? So tonight we're going to talk about the things that we need to understand about money, about funding, about debt. And in that, while we're talking about it, it brought to my mindset, like, what type of dangerous, I don't want to say dangerous, what kind of debt would we need to get into to create that type of business that could literally change the scope of the way people buy and shop in department stores? So we're going to talk about leveraging debt tonight and leveraging credit to create good debt, if there be such a thing. Some people say there's not, but we know that there is. So welcome, Rose. Let's get it started.
Yes, 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 yes. Ooh. Do we have anyone in the chat with us? Because I would love this to be a Q&A, because we can go on and on and on about, this topic here. And I would love to check the temperature of where everyone's at as far as in terms of, like, what they know and what they want to know. But let's talk about the importance of, now, if you guys are here, I want you guys to go ahead and let us know where you guys are from. And if you're watching a replay, go ahead and type the word replay and let us know where you're tuning in from. We would like to know, like, how far our reach is going, and that way we know, like, our efforts here. And if you guys are on the chat, go ahead and share this live with your friends, your business besties, because I know, listen, 2025, we're not doing this alone. Let's go ahead and tap in with our friends. Let them know that we are here to support you and your business bestie. So that way we can see all of you guys succeed in 2025 and beyond. But let's go ahead and get started on this conversation. So yesterday, I know we did leave off on businesses. Businesses borrow money, and there are businesses that are thriving, big evaluations. Like, we can talk about, I think, Skims. You guys know Skims. um
Oh, yes.
yeah, don't quote me on this, but I know that I think her evaluation for Skims is in the billions. Is it? I'm gonna double check for you guys, but she has debt. Skims have debt. I want you guys to understand that in order for a business to thrive and especially market to you guys, the biggest expense is marketing and advertisement, right? How else will your business get in front of, your customers' eyes? We have to put attractive commercials together, commercial ads, marketing ads, prints, and things like that. I want to know, anybody in the chat, have you guys ever put any money towards marketing in your business? If you have, put a one in the chat. If you have not, put a two in the chat. Maybe we should have like a marketing expert to come on one of our calls to talk
Absolutely.
about. Because listen, this is this is one of the biggest thing that I know for sure. Like when I ask people, what are you going to use the funds for? Rarely do I ever. But
Rarely do I ever.
have you ever heard, like, you asked this question, I know I asked this question, what are you going to use the funds for? And rarely do I ever hear anybody say they're going to use the money for marketing and advertisement. Rarely do I ever. Rarely.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think? Because I'm in a place now where I'm working for a company that is about 40 years old, and it is 40 years old, and we are talking constantly about marketing and advertising. What do you think the breakdown is in building a business or in conversations? How do we get past the fact that that's so important?
Honestly, I don't know.
People focus on sales, right?
They
They focus
do.
on sales.
Yeah.
But when I was coming through the ranks of corporate, sales and marketing worked together because they
Mm,
understood that with better marketing, we get more sales.
yeah. Yeah.
So what do small businesses need to do to turn that around? What do you think they need to do?
I think they just need to, you know what? I don't even want to throw numbers out there or even make assumptions, but many of us are on social media right now, right? We scroll, a lot of us scroll through the news feed, we scroll through social media, not realizing those sponsor ads that pop up on your news feed, and especially on your interest, the things that you guys tap on a regular basis. Did you guys know that there are Facebook ads? It's called Facebook Pixel. And
Right,
yeah, Facebook Pixel, you have Google, right? So based on the interest and based on what you're clicking on, what the ad, or I would say the pixel, or let's say SEO, whatever that is, because I know many of you guys can say this. If you guys speak on something, right, over the phone, like you're talking to a friend and all of a sudden this ad pops up on your phone, and you think that you think that is some witchcraft. Because it's like, I was just talking about this and it just popped up on my phone. Did you guys know that that is all AI technology? Especially our phone have these microphones, and the keywords that you guys are saying, it is throwing back the ads. Now, I know a lot of you guys will probably say that is so annoying, but if you're a business owner, it is genius, right? It is
genius.
is genius. Listen, because you are going to have to invest in that type of technology. If you want someone to know about your restaurant, your boutique, your auto shop, your medical office, anything that is, you're going to invest in that. And I want you guys to look this up right now, and somebody type it in the chat. Look up Google Ads, or I guess it's AdSense, right? Look up AdSense, look up Facebook Pixel, right?
AdSense.
AdSense, right? AdSense. Look into even SEO and know what SEO means. It's search engine optimization. Anytime someone puts in a keyword and that keyword is related to your business, Google sends traffic, or Bing sends traffic, or whatever platform that you guys are using. You guys are using this platform. You guys are searching for the very thing that you guys are typing in and keying into the search. So if you are on the other side, which is a business owner, and you invest in that, this is how you get traffic to your website. You can't just build a website and expect people to come to the website. No one knows about it. You have to drive traffic. So these are the things that I just mentioned to you that you have to invest in. this is where your money has to go, because it takes away the effort of you having to go search for people, waiting for referrals, and bootstrapping it, or I would say guerrilla marketing your business, because people are on social media, they're using Google, they're doing Google search, and this is a great way to get traffic coming to your product, your services, your website. And that is where most of you guys have to put your money into.
That's it.
What do you
And
think?
so when we're asking them, how important is it to know? We're going to talk about funding tonight, and how important is it to know or to be able to explain where that money is going to go in talking to an underwriter or a lender.
Mm-hmm.
You do both. So you do lending and you do underwriting costs. How important is it for you to know where that money is going to be spent or how it's going to be allocated?
It's important for me to know, because then I would know that you're putting in efforts to acquire new business, right? Because if you guys are seeking $100,000, let's just say, the banks want to know how we're going to get our $100,000 back. So it has to be a currency going back and forth. If we give to you, we want to know that we're going to be able to get it back. So if we know for sure like how you're going to allocate those funds, and we know that is either marketing, is either payroll,
Because
right?
marketing drives sales.
Marketing drives sales, and when the sales come in, and then you next say that, hey, I need employees, or I need an extra hand or two, so that way you can manage the traffic, the productivity, right? If you're funding in any area that's going to produce more income, meaning extra hands, acquiring new clients, equipment, right? Software, anything to do with processes and systems that's going to help you efficiently get through, your business, then we know for sure that these are the things that you need to be successful in the business, to be able to profit and be able to pay back, because that is the bottom line.
So let me ask it this way: when if I
Mhm.
if a small business owner is talking to you, how much does it weigh on your decision making process with them? Like how much they're going to get? Is it a yes or a no based on the answer to that question?
It is. I wouldn't say entirely so, because if someone has good, well, now let's talk about syndicated line of credit, because
Yeah.
that's one of the easiest funding to get. Now if we're talking about anything else, there's going to be other variations. Like there's going to be like again what we talked about yesterday, your revenue, your tax returns, your profit and loss. There's going to be so many other variations, but this is when you're asking for more than like $50,000 at a time from each bank. But if we're talking about like syndicated line of credit, where it's based on stated income, one is going to be the strength of your credit profile. It's going to be the strength of your credibility. And then next, now, say for instance, we did a soft quote, and we say we're going to get you anywhere from 75 to 100K. And I hop on a call with you and I ask you, like, what are you going to use those funds? And how much are you really looking for? Or how much do you truly need? And if you say something like 150K, and I ask you, what are you going to use it for? That would help me to advocate to get you more than what we soft quoted you for. So if we
Right. So what I was trying to get to too is that the other side of that coin makes you less apt to advocate for someone because you know that the funds are not going to be used properly, or they're not going to generate revenue that's going to make them credible to pay you back. So, what are some of the things that people should not say? Let's get to that they're going to use the money for. Oh, I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to buy a Birkin. I'm going to.
Well, we already know that they're not going to say that. I hope not. I hope not on my calls that you're going to say that, because this is not what it's. But what I do want people to understand, to know that when you do get on a call, I want you guys to be very in depth, right? You
Mhm.
can't just be very surface based, like, I just need the funds to get my business up and running.
Right. Right. Talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. Like, go in detail. Like, tell me exactly what it is that you need. Because not only that, I do want to know, like, are we going to use it for other things that you need in your business, like equipment? Then we don't need to include that entirely into the syndicated line of credit. I can also seek additional funding with different funding source, right? So that will maximize your funding, because I can get you funding for a truck, one of the vans, or maybe a printing machine. We
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily need to use the business credit cards to get that. We can just get a term loan for that, right? And then that can free up some of the funds that you can use for working capital, payroll, equipment, supplies, inventory, things like that. So you want to kind of separate the two, but you need to be in depth so that way I can strategize that for you. But if you just keep it at surface based, I'm nosy. I have to be nosy. I have to be nosy, and you have to be straight up trans.
Forthcoming with the information.
Yes, you got to pour it all out. Get it out.
You need to have a
Get it out.
plan. Tell us what are you going to do with it? We
Yes,
get a lot of people, Rose, that come to us when they're in distress.
that's the part.
They're in
Yes,
a hurry and they need the money right away. What
and then
is what tell me, and this is my opinion, but tell me if you agree or tell me what you think about it. Why is that the worst time to try and borrow money or to try and
that
get funding? We don't want to say borrow money because we understand that borrow money has a fear uh attached to it, a fear antidote attached to it. But
right.
why is it that when you need it the most, that's the worst time to try and get funding?
The worst time, it. You know what? We're gonna break that all down during the call, but let me or during the event next Saturday. That this way you guys know, because I gotta break down the numbers for you. But in summary, the worst time is that, and I want you guys to kind of picture this, because a lot of times you guys do this. Okay, you guys seek funding when you're in distress. You've maxed out all your personal credit cards, right? You have
Liquidity is gone. The stream has dried up. The
Cream
currency is
has dried
gone.
up. Listen, if you maxed out your credit cards, your scores have tanked. That is not the time to do this. I want you guys to know that if you guys are starting a business, I need you guys to go get these business credit cards, even though you have no idea how you're going to use those funds. Even though I just said earlier, you got to be in detail. But it's best to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because a lot of you guys need it and you don't have it. You don't have the credit score to use. You have not filed your taxes because you ain't made no money. You done depleted all of your cash reserves, right? You've maxed out all your credit cards. And when you are in that position, that is not the position that you want to borrow funds. See, a lot of us look at it like, if we go to the bank and we show them that we're in dire need, that they're gonna feel what we're feeling and they're gonna
No,
give it to us. No,
no. I
no.
tell people all the time that banks give money to people that already have it
That already have it and don't need it.
and
Don't need,
don't need
have
it.
to look like you don't need it on paper. You have to look like you don't need it on paper. The moment that they ask for all these documentations and you're in the rears, you're at default, and no,
Your
why
accounts overdrawn, like
accounts overdrawn, you at zero. How are you expecting to make money? Because listen, if you're in that position, aren't you robbing Peter to pay Paul at that moment? At that point?
most of
You're
the time.
robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are not using the funds to progress. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that is not what the banks are there for. It's to help you get out of a hole. Now, the type of funding that you may want to look for there is maybe a debt consolidation loan, right? Maybe something like that. That's what you're looking for. But if you're trying to get funding for like equipment, you're trying to get a truck, you're trying to get, money for payroll, working capital, you don't want to be in dire needs for that because you're in the red.
And then you want the process to be quicker. You want it to
Oh,
hurry up. You want it to go fast. Now, we literally, guys, we're doing mocktails and mastery. You're going to come and spend some hours with us. We're going to give you some cool, creative drinks, and we're going to teach you how to get your business structured and set up for funding. You'll even be able to apply for funding on the spot. But we are going to make sure that you are ready to do so before we bring that up. So when we talk about um, getting it done, Rose, what is the time frame that we've been able to turn around approvals for our clients for funding?
Now, if we're talking about syndicated line of credit, we get, ooh, how much time? We got one of your
Well,
clients.
one of my first clients, it only took like 14 days.
It did because he was quick with it.
He was
But
quick with it. He went through his process and he pretty much could stand on his own. Like he had the credit. He had
oh,
the
he had great credit.
yep.
He had great credit. He had great credit. Now, what we did with one of her clients had great credit that he had business credit with one of his LLCs, but
We
they were
started a
maxed out.
whole new business.
They were maxed out those cards were maxed out. So if we went for like another round of funding for him, he would have gotten a less amount because he was maxed out on those cards. So we advised him to get a new LLC, a brand new LLC. So that LLC was like a week old, 2 weeks old,
Days,
days old. So days old, and guess how much we got him? I think we got him 95K.
95K with a
95
days old LLC.
on a days old LLC. It was days old. The moment that Dr. Rashida said, "Oh, we got his articles of incorporation," then we got him funding. I think it was like 4 days or something like that. $94,000 on a brand new business.
So
So
listen, it's possible.
yeah, and I'm letting you guys know because what I'm doing is taking away the guesswork for you guys. I know a lot of times that you guys hear ways of getting business credit, getting funding, and things like that. I can break it down to you guys because I'm a broker. I'm a broker. I teach people business credit. I'm in the personal credit space. I started off with personal credit, and as my clients evolve, I evolve with them. So thank you for all my past clients because I learned from you guys, right? I learned from the questions that you guys asked because what worked for me is what worked for me. What works for you is what will work for you. Everyone's credit profile, everyone's situation is different. We already laying down like all the things that we do run into and what we have to fix to get you in the best position for funding. So again, like what we just talked about with one of Dr. Rashida's clients is different than what I would handle with her other clients, right? Because I know you're seeing the clients that we're getting funded and it's like, okay, this person got this approved amount and she's asking me like how that works. So I have to kind of break down like the anatomy of that because everyone's credit profile is different, right?
And it's just
But
like in my area of business, everybody's tax situation is different. So there's no real blanket answers. There's some common things, some commonalities in running a business and being able to take certain deductions, right?
mhm,
Or qualify for certain credits, but still based on a business, you want to be able to talk to us, like sit down and talk to us because your business is different from the next business, and then taxes are different down to the penny. I've never really, I can't even think of a time that I've had a season where two people, had owed the same amount, got the same amount of refund, had the same amount of income. I've never seen it happen. And
right.
so with that, everybody's situation is different. Your business need is different. But when you come, we need to know what it is that you need for your business. And if you are in a position that you can set your business up to win so that you can operate and expand with other people's money.
Yeah.
So some of the clients want to let's say they want to, well, I said we were going to talk about the fear of debt. Let's talk about how debt could be positive in growing a business.
Ooh. Okay. So I know a lot of people debt as a negative. Debt is positive. Now, the positivity. So now let's say let's say you have a sprinter van, you have a key man policy, or let's say you have a 401k and you borrowed against it. Or let's say you've acquired, well, let me make it simple. Let's say that you've acquired a home. Okay. Let's say you've acquired a home. The home is $450,000. You've borrowed money to get the home right then and there because you didn't have the cash, to buy it full price and things like that. Guess what? Your you have debt, yes, and then you also have an asset. When we make claims that, especially us, and I'm going to talk to us in the community, when we say that we don't own nothing, we don't own anything. And if you own something, that increases your net worth. And now what I mean by that is, let's say if you want to get $1 million, I will ask you, do you own a home? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you own a home, that's an asset that you can actually bring to the table, because it's not just your word and it's not just your credit score, because you as credit, you're an asset as well. Everyone is an asset, and it's based on, your credibility. And that is the first stepping stone, is your personal credit. That is the first stepping stone. The second stepping stone is owning something, right? Because now you have doubled your asset. Is not only you, but now you have something tangible like real estate. Let's say that you own a key man policy, right? You own a key man policy. You just increased your net worth because that is
And
something.
you should own a key man
You
policy.
should own a key man policy, right? And that key man policy can be a value of $1 million. So not only do you have good credit, but then you also own a home of 450,000, and then you have a key man policy valued at $1 million. Your net worth have increased, right? Now we are making payments on them, and that's considered debt. Now, if we're looking at it from the other side, because we don't like paying bills. But I want you guys to look at it from the other angle, which is the fact that the debt that you're paying towards is also helping you increase and build your asset, your net worth, until you own it. Until you own it. Now, when it becomes bad is when you're not making it on time, when you're defaulting, when you go into collections. But when you're trying to build up your portfolio and build your empire, banks want to know, what do you have as an asset that you can bring to the table that you want to borrow this type of money, right? If we're trying to ask for anything over 50K, we want to know what you're bringing to the table, what skin you're bringing to the table, or bringing to the game. You have to have skin in the game, but a lot of us are coming into the game empty-handed.
Absolutely. So the other thing that I say about debt is, one, it frees up your equity. It
Yes.
prevents you from literally just using every bit of money that you have. It also helps you as a business owner to maintain control of your company without giving up pieces and percentages to get people to invest. It'll help you to manage your cash flow when you have debt. It also puts money in your hands so that you can scale and grow the business. How do you think why do you think that people are in our community, because we're talking to our community, why is our community so afraid of this type of debt?
Well, let's bring it back, because you just said something when you were listing those things. Why do wealthy people invest in real estate? And
Hmm.
why are they the ones that go like, instead of having money sitting in the bank, why do they go and put it on tangible things?
Not tangible things that depreciate. They put it on
Not
tangible things.
yeah,
They put it on
exactly.
tangible things that appreciate because
Uh-huh.
they need to make interest while that money
Mhm.
is sitting and waiting.
Yep. Yep. They're not buying mansions and expensive cars and expensive watches for show. it's appreciating. So as it appreciating, it's actually making them more money. Now, because we don't know this, we buy things to make us look good, but that's not the case. They have to put their money into. Isn't that a tax benefit too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a tax benefit. It helps them save on taxes, especially when they invest in real estate.
Right. But money sitting in the bank don't help you do
It
anything.
don't help you do any of that. It doesn't help you any of it. What was it? Robert Kiyosaki said that savings are for losers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear it from me though. Yeah, I didn't
You
hear it from
ain't hear from me,
you.
but
Got to make your
him
money
has
work.
said it.
You got to make
There,
your money.
there's also tax advantages to having business loans, which will be considered debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's also tax advantages to that because you get to write off the interest paid on those loans
Yep.
while you're obtaining them to expand your business. We're talking about freeing up capital, and this is why we're saying that having funding, taking out loans, creating debt for your business is good. Skims is in debt. Target is in debt. Walmart is in debt. Amazon is in debt.
Apple is in debt.
There is
Yeah.
debt associated with having a multi-million dollar business.
Mm-hmm. And oh, what do they file bankruptcy on? They don't file bankruptcy on cash. They file bankruptcy on what they're
Right.
financing.
Exactly.
They don't dump all their cash and they don't pay anything full cash because you just lost it. But if you're financing it and let's say that the business go down and is not salvageable, they will file bankruptcy. And then why do you think that they can build right back up again?
Because they protected the appreciating assets and they got rid of the debt. It's all a
There we go.
game. It's all a
It's
game
all a
that
game.
we've got to
It's
learn
all a game.
in this very hour how to play it. And that is why we're bringing you Mastery and Mocktails. That is why if you got 5 to 7 people, at least a minimum of 5 people that you can guarantee are going to show up, we will come to your city and teach them how to get structured and get funding. But you guys, you've got to get in the game. You got to, first of all, know the rules, know how to play the game in order to get in. When you get in, you'll be set because
Yeah.
this information we just talked about, they do it over and over and over again. They recycle the process. When you think about 47, that's exactly how he continued to matriculate through the process of business ownership. It was okay, this didn't work, bankrupted. Okay, this didn't work, bankrupted. Okay, this didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
bankrupted. Why is
Right.
it that when people bankrupt, business owners bankrupt debt, why is it that banks continue to loan to them? Why is it? Tell me.
Why is
Yeah.
it? Oh, I thought you was asking me. Okay, yeah. So why they're able to access? Because for one, and I don't know if this is from this angle, from a business aspect, they can dis. First of all, let's really back. And this is from my opinion. First of all, I want you guys to kind of look at it like this. We need producers. Okay, we need producers. And business owners are producers. Okay. If you're able to bankrupt and you were successful, but of course, there's failures in businesses as well. But you always gonna learn from your failure. You always want to fail forward. But if you fail, you can bounce back up again. For one. So if you have prior experiences and listen, when if you're trying to borrow any money when it comes to post revenue, they do want to know if you have
Yep.
experience,
There you go.
especially experience.
Experience. Not only that, just because they bankrupted debt, we answered the question ourselves. They didn't bankrupt the
Mhm.
assets. And
Right,
in some cases,
right,
they don't bankrupt the cash flow.
exactly. And they still have the asset and the cash flow. That is still you bringing something to the table. You just discharge the debt or bankrupt, but you still have asset. You still have cash flow. You still have something to bring to the table. When you're coming in with nothing and you have no experience, it's going to be very challenging to get funding, because you guys got to look at it like this. Like, banks are not just in business to give you money. They're investing in your business as well. They're investors. Kind of look at it like if you coming to us and want to borrow money. I'm not the type of person, and I get this all the time, where people come and ask me for money and to put towards their business and things like that. I tell them I'm not a seed investor. Okay. I'm not a seed investor. A seed investor, they're the ones that would, put money into your startup, and then, they don't mind waiting, 5, 10 years and things like that. But listen, I'm not going to put money into anybody's hands that's inexperienced. I'm not in a position to lose. Okay. I'm more of an investor that want to see what you have done so far, right? I'm gonna meet you halfway, but I'm not going to seed it like as a beginning, unless you're gonna have a whole business plan laid out and you know for sure how you're gonna get this money back over to me. I will seed you. Now, if we all look at it from the angle of an investor, all of us are not in a position to lend to nobody. We're not lenders yet, but you can, right? So we're not in the business to lend, and we cannot afford to lend to people and then lose the money. And that's what happens to many of us, and that's why we don't trust each other when it comes to lending out money, because we know there's a possibility we ain't gonna get it back. And this is what we call credibility. This is what I call credibility. All of us are credit.
Right.
Are you a man and a woman of your word? And now, in order for you to be confident in what you're asking for, will require you to do some research, market research, to see if that there's a need, because those are the clients that's going to come with money in hand to pay for the products and services that you have. It's not just about making money. You really have to know if there's for sure there's a market for what you're selling and the products that you're putting out there.
Absolutely.
You got to do that.
So real
Got to do
estate is one of the places, I just wanted to point that out, that experience matters.
it. Mm-hmm.
Especially in becoming a real estate investor. Experience is everything. It
Yes.
completely matters, how you are going to present. It matters, how you're going to get funded. So a lot of times they want to see at least 2 years experience in the area that they're going to loan money for you to continue in when you talk about real estate. So guys, listen, this is so valuable, so much valuable information all at once. We are going to be live here in Fort Lauderdale, and we're also going to come back and do some more things virtually, but we want to give you all an opportunity to come and sit with us. Let's do the groundwork. This is not your typical workshop. Rose and I believe in doing the work hands on. So you need to come prepared to do the work. Come prepared to do the work. Please
Please.
come prepared to do the
Please.
work. Make sure that you are ready to do what you are saying that you are going to do, so that we can put you in a position to win. Our goal is to teach you how to structure, put your paperwork, your things in place that you need, so that you can get funding for your business, so that you can keep your money and start investing it so that it can grow. You can put it in appreciating assets in places that have high yield accounts, savings accounts. Put it in the stock market, all of these things, because this money is going up. It is growing, and it is growing rapidly right now. So we don't want you to be in a position that you will not win because you don't have the proper structure and you don't have your things in place so that you can get this money, get to the
Money,
bag,
money, money.
get to the bag. So, Rose,
Get to the bag.
go
Oh,
ahead. I was getting ready to say, go ahead, take it.
I was gonna say, what we giving away?
We are giving away a trip, guys, to Orlando or Vegas, your choice. 3 nights. But you gotta bring a friend, and you must be present to win. So we are
Yes, must
looking
be
for your
present.
face to be in a place. We're going to give away a trip on next Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. We are going to be here in Fort Lauderdale at 2880 West Oakland Park Boulevard. You will meet us there in the conference room in my office building. We are going to bring it. And so we want to see your face in the place. We're going to serve you mocktails and we're going to give you some mastery to this game of structure, business structure, and credit. And guys, if you come and you got a 680 credit score, we will start the process on Saturday, getting you funded. And you will look up, and within 30 days, you will have the funding you need to expand your business. You got to come. And if you don't have a 680 credit score, on Saturday, Rose Allure, the credit goddess, is going to tell you how to get to that 680. And guys, she has some new rabbits up her sleeve. She got some new collaborations going on. She's got some things to help you get there quick. But you've got to speak up. My granny used to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you need it, you've got to say it. Don't let pride get in the way. And if you need help, you need to be telling us, hey, help, help, help. You need to be putting in the chat, whether you are here watching us live or you coming back to watch the replay. You need to put in the chat, help me, so that we can help you to get to the bag.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on what you just said, like, you gone the days that we are ashamed or afraid to ask for help. Myself, I am a credit improvement strategist. I need you guys to poke me and ask me a question, right? There's so much information out there all throughout social media. But if you're still stuck and confused, you have someone live like me that you can ask a question to get clarity, because we don't have enough time to try to figure things out, make mistakes, do trial and error. Because let me tell you, when it comes to credibility, it's not a quick fix, it's actually a lifestyle. So I want you guys to understand that the moment that you start building that credibility, the moment that clock starts, and you really don't have time to mess that up in the game, especially our Gen Zers. Oh, no, not Gen Zers, Gen Xers. All right. Our Gen Xers, we don't have enough time. Millennials, you almost there. We don't have enough time. 20 years go by real quick. And in this 20 years, I need you guys to get it together, because guess what? If we have to pass this down to our children, we have to get it together. The third generation is when generational wealth starts. It starts with you. You be the first millionaire, trial and error, pass it down to your children, guide them along the way, take away that training wheel, and then that your children then teach their children. And now we have the blueprint that is duplicatable to pass down to the next generation. But it has to start with you guys, which is why I say we don't got that kind of time. Listen, we are at the end of January already.
Already.
Do we have that kind of time? Do we have that kind of time? We're going to write it down, make it plain, and we're going to implement so we can succeed in the goals that we have set for 2025 and beyond. And if you don't have your credit together, I need you guys to get on that. This is not something that you want to sit on, because guess what? Many of you guys been thinking about this 2 years ago. You would have had 2 years of credit and you would have been just good. If you have not started, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you, if you're trying to tap into business credit, and business credit is like considered like college level, you're going to need to put a year or two in. I'm going to just have to tell you, sorry, your credit's not strong enough. So if it's not strong enough, I need you guys to get that started right now. All right. So tune in on February 8th, and I'll break it down on exactly what it is that you need to do, because we don't have time to figure it out. I'm your cheat code. Dr. Rashida is your cheat code. Lean on us to get the information that you need, the resources that you need to be successful in getting your goals set for 2025 and beyond. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, guys, that's our time for tonight. We just wanted to come and give you guys some more nuggets to share with you some things. We really want to ease the fear that you have about getting funding to grow your business. It's time for you guys to understand liquidity. It's time for you to understand equity. It's time for you to understand EBITDA. It's time for you to get yourself in a position that you can have a multi-million-dollar corporation that is running, and you can literally go on vacation and take a break, right? because we are
Mhm.
so busy chasing the bag. We have reached a point where we are out of breath, we tired,
Yep.
we burn out,
Right.
and we have the desire to quit simply because we are overdoing it. So come sit with us.
Yeah.
Let us teach you how to make it easy. So we'll come back next week. We'll talk to you guys on probably Tuesday of next week, just to get you all warmed up for what's going to come on next Saturday, February the 8th. If you are in the Fort Lauderdale area, come and be with us. We are going to do some larger events where you can fly in and be with us for multiple days. That is going to be coming. So stay tuned for the Uncommon Experience. We look forward to working with you guys real soon. Thank you so much, Rose, for being here again tonight. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And we're going to
Yeah.
get this thing done and get people across the finish line for excellent credit and
Yep.
excellent funding so that they can have an excellent experience and love their business like we love ours.
Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you guys. We'll see you. Bye
Bye.
bye.